Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Off Da Binge, a seasonal anime discussion show of, I'm your host, Legendary Vash, and with me is my co-host Crash, or as we like to call him, the Hispanic Assassin. This is your go-to seasonal anime podcast where we dive into the best and the unexpected, the hidden gems of each anime season. We are here for the fall season, and today is our 4th episode of the live. Sorry, we're not live. We are here pre-recorded on a Tuesday morning for week 7 coverage of the 4th season anime, and we're jumping into week 8. So tell us what you're excited to see for this week in the comment section down below. If not, tell us what you thought about week 7 and what's to come, what's exciting, were you hyped, and was done that fucking emotional that everyone said. We will be discussing about it. Other than that, as that, your host, Legendary Vash, and you know me, I'm all about those long title Seek Adventure. Example, guys, this is gonna be a long one. Backstab in a backwater dungeon. My trusted companion tried to kill me, but thanks to the gift of my unlimited gacha, I got level 9999 friends, and I'm out for revenge on my former party members and the world. Anime just got announced.
What up? Wow, what a long anime title that's going to be very hard to say next time.
Yo, the worst thing when I see these long titles, I'm like, can we get not because a shorter title, but is there like a hashtag for it? Because that's like the whole tweet already.
Imagine
an acronym or something. Like, imagine the acronym having BIABDMTCTTKMBT22 I got tired of it, like saying each.
He really tried.
Yeah, like, yo, I was already halfway. I didn't even get to the level 99, friends. Whew, that's too many levels for an acronym. So, like, is there a shorter word? I feel bad for all that. But enough about me. Enough about the long title of Sika. My co-host.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy Crash, aka the Hispanic Assassin, getting the Otaku myself sponsored by no other than today's sponsor, My Anime List. If you're like me, you know, you always put your lists, you know, on your iPhone or your Android. You never, you know, look online. You just type. You're going to be, you know, a little hard-headed like myself. But thanks to today's sponsor. No, I'm kidding. I just want to really throw Vash under the bus because he uses anime. Doesn't use My Anime List like me. So I just had to shout him out. You know, they are a great app.
Look, I get it, Mouse original, but it's something of a server and app / browser that they're so outdated that I can't look at. I'd rather look at life charts or any list on the website, and they're so helpful for anybody. Just go also download the app on the phone if you have an iPhone. I don't know where it's on Google Store. I've told some people to have Androids, but it doesn't work for them, or it's not the same. It's a different app, so I don't know what to recommend you in that aspect. But yeah, AniList, it helps out because when you're trying to catch up to anime or see on a weekly basis, and sometimes you get lost on which anime. Like Crunchyroll, it told me yesterday while I was driving during work, and it said a notification pop up saying you should watch
Finding out with that Amagami.
It said new episode. I'll become a villainess who goes down in history, and then I look on Crunchyroll and it isn't. So I go to Analyst. The new episode don't drop until Tuesday afternoon. So I'm like, yo, Crunchyroll, why you lying? So I'm like, why are you trying to tell me an anime I'm already watching and the new episode didn't drop? So maybe it was like a dub version or something. All right, cool. But my new episode didn't drop. Maybe dub, Spanish dub, German dub, a different country dub episode probably dropped. Cool for you. But I'm trying to watch my new episode of the week, and it didn't happen. So I was been annoyed about that. So that's why I do say AniList is the better version. But hey, both works for you. If it works, if it gives you the answer, if it gives you the episode coming out, the timestamp and everything, then go for it. There's nothing wrong. Tomato.
I agree. Apple, Windows, same shit to me. Whatever floats your boat, as long as you got the list, you know.
PS4, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, PC, all the same as long as you're happy playing it.
Villainess was better, by the way.
Yeah, whichever you want. But hey, enough about who we are, what we're up to, and everything. How about let's discuss to our next segment, our current anime binge. Because if you are new to the channel, welcome to watching Off Da Binge, a seasonal anime podcast where we review our weekly anime. We talk about what are we watching outside of our weekly seasonal anime that right now we're airing for the first time this fall, and we talk about our current anime binge. But then we also, right after, talk about our episode of the week. Then we do our top 10 ranking, our quick thoughts, and then we do our review portion, our Danadan. There's some information that will be informed at the end, but I'm not going to state it now. But stay tuned for that. Timestamps will always be down in the description down below. So continue supporting. Audio feed is coming to be determined when, but I'll give you the dates. If not, the description will always have the links up to date for sure. Other than that, let's go for our current anime binge. Before we get on into it, have you been watching anything anime related, Crash?
So back from what I was saying on the last episode, and by the way, if you haven't watched any of our previous episodes, go give it a watch on YouTube. Sometimes do go live, sometimes they are pre-recorded, so give our channel a look, shout out, like and subscribe when you guys can. Really appreciate it. But going from the last episode, I did say that I finished Ranking of Kings, the first episode, which was actually a lie. I finished the first 10 minutes, which is why I hadn't. I don't know why I said I saw the first. I finished the first episode now, 100%.
Officially, all done. Yeah, 22 officially. Minutes done.
24 with the intro and outro. It's good. I like it. The first episode, and I'm actually hooked, and that's usually a very good thing. So I'm very curious to see. The prince got moves. He might have smoke with his little older brother or younger brother, whatever you want to call him. So I'm very curious to see how he's going to throw hands right now in this small fight next episode. But so far, the prince, I'm really liking a lot. I think he has a nice heart. Past that, the only really thing I've watched besides Ranking of Kings is the new season of Arcane that had just released. First 2 acts have released. We are going to speak more about it on the Anime Lately podcast. If you guys want to give it a watch, it's going to be coming out in the next week or two. Definitely give an eye for that, where we talk more about it. Yes. But I am up to date on it.
I will give you the date, guys, for chat. We will be seeing Arcane Season 1 review on November 21st, and then Arcane Season 2 review will be on November 28th on Thanksgiving. So if you want to have a little something to watch while you're cooking your turkey and doing anything like that related, hey, put a little Anime Lately podcast, a little 2-hour coverage of Arcane and food, that section of story and character and the good and the bad and the emotional kissing and everything. So go check that out.
Look, I'm not going to speak more on it. All I would say is for Act 1, that kiss with Vi and Caitlyn was hot AF. We didn't deserve it, but thank you, animators. The amount of money you put in to see that go down was so fucking amazing. 10 out of 10 for Act 1. Act 2, no spoilers again, but the ending of that made me cry like a bitch. Not as much as Don, but we'll speak more on that. And finally, this isn't anime related. But from time to time, I do watch movies that are not, superhero related, just any general movie. And this movie that I saw, that I finally had a chance to watch, was a movie called Challengers, starring Zendaya and 2 other actors, which I forgot their names. But it is a movie that came out last spring in April. I've been dying to see it for the longest. I saw a little bit of it on a trip to Miami a couple months back, but I officially finished it a couple days ago. Made a review about it whenever our website release. Came out this year in 2024 in April.
Oh wow, damn, time flies.
Yeah, we're right there at the end of the year. But I have made a review for it. Whenever our website does release, you'll be more than be able to read the review to get my take on it. Again, no spoilers on here about the movie. I think it was a great movie. However, I do feel bad for Tom Holland. If you're watching this, Tom Holland, I feel so bad for you, bro. Zendaya did not deserve to get her cheeks clapped like that, but that's all I'm gonna say.
I will say this: when it comes to Challengers, I haven't seen it, and I really do plan to watch it. But I want to ask you more a bit of a review. You said that you give a full thoughts and everything, but other than the jokes aside about Zendaya and Tom Holland, how was the movie overall with the tennis aspect and about the ambitions of her losing the ability to be a player, but now training others to become the best player of what she couldn't accomplish?
So what the big takeaway from this movie is I'm not generally a sports movie guy myself. I really say like same with anime.
I'm
I do try
about
to
to
stay.
say
Yeah.
he's the sports anime, he's the sports
That's
movie.
what I do
He just like
not.
to watch real
It
life
goes hand in
sports.
hand. If it's not IRL, it's not an anime. I don't like it. However, the big takeaway from this, besides the fact that it's starring Zendaya in this movie, is that it has a romantic aspect to it, a love triangle, and that is something that already grasped me with it. And just like with challengers, I also take this example with Blue Box. Originally, I saw this as a joke with Blue Box. I saw it as like, oh, it's whatever, it's mid. But then I see the trailers, then I see the reviews, and I'm seeing a lot of people like liking it, talking about it. I'm like, you know what? All right, I'll give it a chance. With Challengers was more different. I already knew it was gonna be good. The biggest scene was the scene in the bedroom, in their hotel room, where all three of them are kissing at the same time. And Zendaya giving that dirty look to the both of them. That was like she's acting in a way I have not seen her act like that, like a bit of a freak. So that's what I was really looking forward to in that aspect, the romance aspect. The drama in the movie is sublime. It's very great. Like it gives a lot of time skips. So you're seeing what's currently happening. You get time skips from back in the past to getting up to the point where it's happening right now. You see where the stakes are at with all three characters because all three of them are the protagonists. All three of them have a certain role to play for each other to the point where now, towards the end, they have a goal in mind and it may cost them their futures in both good and bad ways. And they'll do whatever it takes to win in the sport of tennis. The game itself with tennis was nice to watch. It was nothing. I've seen people play it. I played a little bit myself. Nothing professionally, just like for fun. It's nice. It's nothing bad. But they bring more of the dramatic aspect of the romance, and that's really what I like about it. You get a very unique, interesting perspective with Taiki, with Art, with Patrick. These three characters. I don't really want to go more into detail about like how they are because it's gonna kill, I guess, like the idea of what they are gonna be. My biggest thing is if you like romance, if you like the dramatic aspect of it, there are some nice plot twists, especially at the very end. I hate Taki for what she becomes. Fuck you, Zendaya. If that's how you act with Tom Holland, you don't deserve my boy. Shame on you. If that's how you're gonna act, only if you act like that. If not, if you're just acting, bet. Definitely Zendaya stole a show. She was a great performer, a great actress. I enjoyed it. I personally give it an 8 out of 10. I highly recommend it to everybody. Even if you don't like sports, if you don't like romance, there is a little bit to take away from everybody. Definitely give it a watch. It is currently right now able to stream on Amazon Prime. So if you do have Amazon Prime, you're able to watch it right there. Otherwise, there are other streaming sites to watch it on. But for the most part, 2 hours to watch alone with your partner, with friends, definitely worth your time. My only takeaway from the movie, my only criticism I will say is, and I say this all as jokes. I don't mean any disrespect with the actors or actresses, but going into this, I really saw this as more of a sexual movie. I thought, these two guys are gonna double team this girl, and all I'm gonna say is they're playing for keeps. These two guys, Art and Patrick, they are not willing to share this girl at all. So I like that idea, but at the same time, I was kind of like, oh, I didn't expect that. I was expecting more of the other way, and just seeing more of a darker side of Tashi as a character. But to each their own. It's still a good movie regardless. So there's that. But if you're expecting more dirty things than what the trailer gives you, I'll get your mind out the gutter. It's nothing more than some heated scenes here and there. But that's
more.
far as you get.
It's more than meets the eye.
You could say that. You could say that. I'll leave it to the imagination of the viewer. But that's as far as I'll say with that. Don't expect too much going into it.
So that's a perfect way to transition into what meets the eye to me. Because sometimes your friends could betray each other once they gain power. But what I mean by that, what did Vash what is his current Anime Binge? Well, guess what? He has not been shit. Because again? No, I did not been shit this week. Hey, I've been busy working. Next episode, episode 5 of Off Da Binge, we will have a list. We will see summer season anime ended, Suicide Squad and Sika Alaya. We have see anime of a list check off. We will see them done, and we'll be talking about this coming episode 5 of The Binge. I don't work this week. Things will be checked off the list. Posters being crushed. thrown out to the trash, we will be accomplished. But what I did watch with Wifey, we saw Transformers 1. Transformers 1 that was voice acted by Chris Hemsworth as Optimus Prime or as Orion Prax. And I forgot the voice actor who played Megatron, but who's called B186, I believe he was called. And we have Bumblebee and the other cast member that who was voiced
Scarlett
by
Johansson
Scarlett
played
Johansson,
the girl,
yeah.
and then Peel, not Jordan, the other guy who, the other comedian, I forgot his name, Peel something.
You know what? We have the internet. I got IMDb right here. I got you.
You know, it's funny. I feel like I know who played Megatron too, but on top of my head, the name is eluding me because I know it was main actors and actresses.
Brian T. Henry.
I believe.
Yeah,
That's who plays Megatron.
Yeah, Brian Terry Henry was D16. Correct. That is.
Okay. And what was the name of the actor who played Bumblebee?
It was Keegan Michael Key.
Thank you. I know I said his name wrong. Not Jordan Peele. Not Jordan Peele. I'm thinking about the other guy.
No wonder Alphatron. I love the voice for him. It's because that was Lawrence Fishburne. Makes sense.
Yes.
That
Prime.
makes sense. And Sentinel Prime, of course, was John Hamm. That makes sense too.
Yeah.
Oh shit. So yes, chat. I saw Transformers 1. It's on Paramount. So of course, hey, so I couldn't get to see on theater, busy or who knows or finance. I'm paying for Paramount, so fuck it, why not? And then I saw it in the app, and it was also good. I had a great time. I was happy little camper because I was getting up, like clapping, like I was in a movie theater and just saw the most best thing in the world. But nah, I was just a little kid at heart as an adult, seeing the things I grew up with as pixelated cartoons that look the best they could as those times to now what we have now, current technology and animation come to life. Seeing the Beast Transformers, seeing the characters talking about the Allspark, but now they have a different name for it. So it was pretty interesting how they're becoming more lore heavy in the Transformers. Now that's becoming more mainstream, and Hasbro having their own fucking logo transformation in the beginning of the film. I'm like, okay, since when y'all doing this, Hasbro? Are y'all becoming into the movie business? But it seems like it, from what I could tell. And the movies was actually great. I hope we have a second one. Chris Hemsworth was hard to hear at times as Orion Pax because whenever I heard his voice, I felt Thor, which that's not a bad thing, but I felt he was putting a bit of the Thor persona with his voice into Orion Pax, if that makes sense to anybody. Which that's not a bad thing either.
I do want to ask, since you personally seen it, right? I do know a lot of critiques, criticizers out there like to. We have spoken about this. I don't know if it's directly on the Anime Lately podcast, but we have spoken about before where a lot of critiques and criticizers like to dramatically lower the score of a movie that they grade just to make people think or believe that it's good or bad for whatever reason online. So my question to you, right, is I had posted when before the release of this movie that IGN specifically, and I'm calling you out IGN. You know why? They had originally put it. They put it out originally as a 5 out of 10, but it was not that great. So
what's my score?
What's my score? And do you agree with the score that they had put originally?
Well, with IGN, I never agree with the score. That's one. So that's obviously stated. And do I agree with the score 5 out of 10? Fuck no. If you are gonna go into the nitpicks of the writing only, then I will get to an understanding of 5 out of 10. The writing is not like the script is not perfect. It's not. But if you are a Transformers fan and you're expecting an Oscar movie of the script, every line means something, everything, then you are coming to the wrong reasons for this movie. If you're expecting this movie to give the lore of Transformers that has been going for the last 40-something years or less.
The prequel, pretty much.
Yeah, prequel, but more of the Transformers lore that has been from the cartoons, from the comics, to where we are now, adding more to the substance, because me watching this film, I learned more from my lore of Transformers, and maybe they were rebooting stuff, having a better explanation for what the characters of the Transformers were, and the Allsparks, the Sentinel Prime, and how they started, and how we have the becoming Megatron, and seeing that these brothers were actually brothers in combat. They were people that they fought and people that trained together. I wish one thing though. So first, do I agree with the score? No. If the score was 5 out of 10 about the script, then I would agree. But an overall score for me, I will honestly give it like a 7.5, 8 out of 10 for enjoyment, entertainment, fan of the series, the script overall, and the characters that we met throughout the journey. If I have to break it down in a writing format or analysis, then that's a whole different story. I would give the script a 5 out of 10. Could have been a lot better, yes. Maybe the script maybe was more of a 6 out of 10. I'll give it, but overall, it's a 7 to 8 out of 10. Anybody giving a 6 or lower is because you're being too critique for a movie that is animated and it's literally a prequel of how we be coming to this. A prequel always just gives you the bits and pieces. It doesn't give you the full entree of a T-bone steak of a 20 ounce. No, it gives you first the little small appetizers. That's what usually prequels are, and I feel like that's what this movie did. It gave us the ambitious, that always the optimistic that people on the show, Crash, Watkins, Drop,
Jokester.
a Jokester. Everyone tells me optimistic Vash because I'm always the optimistic one, which okay with. That's why I relate a lot to Optimus, because in this movie he shows the optimist, the ambitious, the person that always wants to have the best and don't want to fight. But if you want the fucking smoke, he will cut you down, do the most best slow motion action scene that Michael Bay will be doing for Optimus Prime, always, and cutting and literally having the slow motion of a jaw being cut. And I'm like, do we need to see that? No. But did it look cool? Fuck yeah. It was nice to see fucking giant robot slash another robot for no damn reason in a small action scene. And yeah, that was Michael Bay. In this movie, we saw that in not slow motion, but in its nicer, smooth version that was fluidly because it's animated in that portion. The chemistry between Megatron or B116, I mean D16, it was really cool because you always hear in the movies and in the cartoons already as the Decepticons, the Autobots, and you hear their rivalry all the time, like Megatron, Optimus, I'ma kill you. You always hear that between both of them, but you always never heard the backstory exactly. Hey, we used to be friends and everything, combat and everything. The only thing,
the origin story.
Yeah, the origin story. In this movie, we saw the origin story, but not the exact origin story I would like to see added more, because I feel like I hate how in origin stories that we know of, why do we need to see them already become villains at the end? Why can't it show the villains become the next like the next sequel? Because I show the inklings like of how we know Sinestro is always gonna backstab Hal Jordan. We know that, but don't do it in the first movie. Show the little hints that he's gonna do it on the next movie. That I like when the kettle pot is heating up until it starts steaming. I find like that starts steaming, the climax went into episode not episode 2. Why do I keep saying episode? Movie 2, the sequel. I find it more hitting because once we knew Megatron was gonna start turning bad, and once it happened, I already was like, I knew it. But if I didn't get it, I'd be like, oh shit, they're saving it for the next one. Oh, that's interesting. I would have liked that more. That's my honest critique, which is not critique. It's more of like my opinion, where Megatron and Optimus, we were told they were always as a comeback friends. In this movie, they were more as co-workers that were friends outside of work and at work. And Optimus was always getting him and them in trouble. But Megatron always just follow him because, that was his boy. They got a good relationship. And, he went with the plan, started with the plan. If it failed, we will figure it out. But I didn't see no comeback where they will always be told. I'm like, shit, I would have liked that comeback of what we had in the ending, but just continue on. That would have liked. That's my small critique. but the action was great. And Sentinel, fuck that dude. Sentinel, the fake one was always the bad guy. We always knew that. Fuck this man.
I liked your synopsis of it, right? And I like Transformers. I'm not a big diehard Transformers fan, but I'm not gonna disregard. Like I have seen some of the movies with Michael Bay. I've seen some of the cartoons. Like I like it. I generally think it's a good show, good movie. The story, and I always come back to this every time as an opinion. The story is what matters to me. So you saying that there was something wrong with the script, something was wrong with the story, that's already a big like to me. Like, and
No,
you know
but it's
that.
not. No, but it's not a flawed thing. It's just that it was, which is not asking for Oscar. It's more the script was straightforward. Like, oh, Spark,
Yeah.
we get that, we find it, and then minor spoiler, you always find out that somebody betrays somebody, like, because for power. That's something that always is. So it was something that is predictable. Not saying that it was a bad script. It was a straightforward script. So that's why if IGN was gonna script it for that, then I get it 5 out of 10. It's understandable. But when you're gonna give it that score, then I'm like, nah. There was more with it. Transformers 1 is a simple strip. It's literally there's always somebody betrays somebody. Megatron betrays Optimus. Starscream always betrays Megatron, but then Starscream is still his little bitch, and that's what he does.
I mean, I no, I get what you're saying. I don't know if this is the right analogy to bring up, right? Because like I said, like the grading, I feel like was really off. Like I think you have made a great fair grade for the movie, right? Compared like this movie to let's say Arcane, for example, right? Because this is an example of like an origin story, right? We have never really, with the Transformers movie with Arcane,
I will give
it's really
Transformers 1 to season 1, act 1 of Arcane.
exactly right because we don't, as you know, as players who have played League of Legends, we don't know anything of like the origin stories of the characters past their bios. What we know, right?
Which is crazy.
And
I can't wait for us to break it down for Emily podcast. Oh my gosh.
and the same with Transformers, we don't know anything about like really what's the origins of them past what happened to the cartoons, even in like the comic books. I know there are some, but like past what information we're given, we only know so much, right? So with these type of ratings, it's like
our first time hearing Bumblebee without a broken voice. For anybody that needs to know, this was our first time we fucking hear Bumblebee without a broken voice. It was so great to hear. I'm about to say Keegan Michael Key was great as B127. It was amazing just to have Bumblebee, the different character, like he still is as goofy as this motherfucker is. Like he acts like a 16-year-old. Like literally comedy. Like he acts like Michelangelo. That's probably why I relate so much to Bumblebee, because Michelangelo, yes, I'm biased because he has exactly my name in the English version, but still, I love that Michelangelo character that reminds me of so much of Bumblebee, and it just makes sense to that. So us getting the version of Bumblebee without the broken music box or voice box, and him having a radio trying to speak into the mood and get everything right, like no, but we get this. I agree, Crash. Like you get the emotions of the original origin that we never have gotten for years, that we never could speak of. So we're adding lore, something for some company called Lucasfilm is kind of failing at, to add more to Transformers.
Bring back George Lucas. Bring back George Lucas. But yeah, like to recap real quick, 100%. Like I agree with you, right? I think they were a little too hasty with that grading. I agree with your grading overall, right? But my thing is like, so then why the 5 out of 10, right? Why was it the animation over like with Arcane? Because Arcane had a humongous budget, with animation, right? Is it because of that? Is it because of the writing, the script, the plot? Maybe it wasn't to everyone's taste, but that's not fair because we have never heard this origin story before. You got to give it a chance. Is it the voice actresses? You might have a great A team, list like Chris Hemsworth, Scarlett Johansson, all these actors and actresses, and then you have people playing Arcane. God, you guys are gonna kill me for not remembering the names, but the girl who plays in Hawkeye, the girl who's playing in Fallout, I'm going to kill myself because I don't remember their names. You have all these thank you, yes. Amazing voice actors, by the way. But like you have people like them, and you see the differences in experience and how they perform and everything, which to me they equally perform good. I didn't see a problem with it, right? So
a big shout out to one of my friends that I've spoken to. We I've come to understand when it comes to American movies being made and animated, the voice cast is always where they feel like it's cheaper and it's easier to hire actors because by the name they think they will sell the movie by not just in Transformers One, but it's a voiced by Chris Hemsworth or having him as promotional ads, marketing, Chris Hemsworth going around that he's Orion Pax for Optimus Prime, the origin story. That would sell more tickets than having some actor that who's very famous in the voice acting for anime or arcane or Spider-Verse movies. A lot of people won't know their face, so even if they do cross promotion ad and everything, they won't sell tickets. So now they gotta hope the movie itself is what makes it to sell tickets, not the actor. So that's the thing that about
American movies.
movies in the big leagues when it comes from Paramount or anything. They feel like, hey, those producers think like, voice acting, that's not too serious. That's more like only voice that we can use the face. I'm like, no, a lot of voice acting actors are very beautiful and handsome. You guys can actually use them to cross promotion, and you guys could maybe translate them both to the acting. Well, like for example, I believe the voice actor for Miles Morales is kind of rumored to maybe play the same role in the live action, but that's like
Ooh.
over in sequel words, not like the actual Miles Morales to grow up with Tom Holland version, but like a version of that already in sequel words. So that's something that a lot of people spoke about. So I hate it when these type of movies, Transformers One, like we didn't need to use Transformers One. I know a few voice actors that could have done a voice of Optimus Prime as well.
100% agree with you on that. I mean, at the end of the day, like I compare it to them, right? If we're going based off that analogy of origin story, right? And one is performed in the other, but it's still the same concept. It's still origin story that not a lot of people know about. And it's like, is it fair to grade it that way? It is what it is. Me personally, I could care less because if I'm learning something new, it's nice to know because it's at the end of the day, it's going to be canon for everybody else. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of did it not just look appealing to you visually? Was the voice acting, thrown off? Was it, just the story itself? Was it just not to your liking? It could be a lot of things, but overall, at the end of the day, whether you see it through a movie perspective like Transformers or, an animated series like with Arcane, we're still seeing like a brand new story come into play, for everybody that is going to be canon. So I think it's only fair to give it a little more leniency to judge it in a different perspective than what originally you would judge it based off of.
Yeah, so like Transformers One, for anybody that hasn't watched it, go watch on Paramount Plus. I had a good time. The characters of Chris Hemsworth, Orion Pax was great to see the origin of Optimus Prime, how he gets himself to become a Prime. How does he get acknowledged by his other peers, other leaders in the past life of the centuries? To with Cybertron, see the origin of this, and the animated was beautiful. The fights, Scarlett Johansson still doing voice acting. Like I believe she was a snake in the Lion King as well, something like that. It's like, hey, she's pretty, she has a good voice, so it works.
Just know you stole my heart, Loki, as my number one actress.
And Bumblebee was great to see you without your broken voice box, so that is the case for being it. Great movie. Honestly, I have no complaints. Like, could the story been better? A few things, the Sentinel, Alphatron, all those things. Starscream, he's still a little bitch. I'm gonna say that. That's amazing. Uh, Jazz was amazing to see all these other characters and see Steve Blum, the announcer. But oh, that makes sense. I heard Steve Blum voice. Zeta Prime, yeah. Just seeing all these characters. But as always, fuck Starscream. He will betray you at any moment and still tell you in front of your face to the leader. He'll still be a bitch anytime. He's always the same in live action, animated, cartoon, don't matter. And that holds value. He stays true to his character and I love it. But what you gotta love is stay true to your character, guys. It's talking about our episode of the week for week 7. So a fall 2024 anime 2024 season. So let's talk about the anime that stood out the most of this week. So what's our personal episode of the week? So Crash, you brought up earlier that this week has been very emotional lately, that has got you in the feels, that's been like a roller coaster. Is this how it has been making you feel from when you told me right before we started recording?
So, going into week 7, right? I started, watching my anime list as usual, right? And my only last three, animes I had to watch for the week was Dandadan, Blue Box, and Danmachi. So, of course, first thing that came up was Dandadan. I started watching that. And that is going to be my personal episode of the week. And I would say here in advance, major spoilers for episode 7. So if you do not want to, know any, you don't want to listen to any of the spoilers, you don't know what happened in episode 7, please, we have a timestamp at the bottom, so you can definitely skip it. You've been warned.
Question: would you want to, since we usually review Dandadan as a review portion at the end for the anime spotlight, but since you're gonna talk about it right now, what do you want to do the whole review portion here?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a whole review portion here just to get it out the way.
All right, so chat, you heard it here. Get out if you want. Time comes to the bottom if you want to skip it, but here's your moment. I myself sadly did not get the time to watch Dandadan, so I'm gonna spoil myself as well. Shame. Just like I think the show of Handmaiden where the girls walks around, shame, 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 shame. Just keeps doing the meme, but I have not watched it, so I'll be spoiling myself too. So we in the same ride. I didn't get the time to, so let's talk about it. If Vash was right about his theories last week, we're gonna find out. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Okay. So, first and foremost, you're getting into the first 25 seconds of the episode, and it's gonna be completely gray and black, and you're seeing the camera sway. You're gonna see the streets of Japan pretty much. Somebody's running really, really fast looking for something. You see a car at the very end of the street. The person running tries to run towards the car, falls down. Screen turns blank. Black. I had to rewatch that scene 3 times. My first time, I didn't even go continuing on to the intro. I rewatched that 3 times because me personally, I saw it in the dark. I wasn't paying attention the second time, and I thought there was something to be noticing in that. I'm thinking like, and I see why you're laughing. That's completely fair, right? The way that the animation was done is very unique, and I also have to give props to the creator of this because he's been getting a lot of attention with his animation style. You don't really see a lot of detail in this kind of animation, and this kind of like intro is very important going into the end because it's showing you something that's going to happen in the future. But my takeaway from that is like you're experiencing something that somebody's going through, but you don't know exactly what it is yet. And I like that going into episode 7. I didn't have much expectation. I was just expecting another fight, with acrobatic Silky, and I'm like, okay, bet. So what's gonna happen? So you see this. The fight continues with acrobatic Silky, with everybody else. The fight goes down, and they are about to get their asses kicked. Long story short, they were able to defeat acrobatic Silky, right? Then they go and look at this girl on the floor now that they saved her. And she's dead. Straight up dead. Heart not working, nothing. She died. Trying to save her. Goes into the fucking opening sequence, the opening cutscene. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, that's funny. I love it.
Like 5 minutes in the fight, she's dead, and then it goes like dun 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 dun. I'm like, wait, what? Wait, no, I want to skip the intro. Wait, no, run that back. She's dead.
I love it when the animes be doing that. They be like, like just go like a straight shocking moment of what's going on, and then the opening hits or the end of the episode happens with like straight shocking moment happens. You're in the emotions, you're in the mood, and then opening hits. I mean, and then the ending song hits, and you'd be like, wait, that's it? I love it because you'd be like, what the fuck? I was so immersed into what I'm watching, and then you got me.
Yeah, so I want to skip the intro so badly, but I know the intro's a slat. Like I'm watching. I'm like low in my heart. I'm like, hurry the fuck up. I need to know, like, is Arya dead or not? So of course, intro ends. We go into the next scene. Arya, heart not working, right? So Turbo Granny, Ken, and Momo are trying to resuscitate her with CPR, right? So then we see after the fight that acrobatic Silky is like still alive. And she's like coming to them, and Momo's not with the shit. She's like, nigga, if you want to fight, let's go. I don't give a fuck. I'm trying to see my friend. And Acrobatic Silky goes 180. He's like, no. Give her some of my soul so I can save her. And everyone's looking at her like, wait, what? And it's explained through Turbo Granny, and lore and everything. But the main concept is Arya is about to pass away. She's kind of like she's dying in that sense, and only Acrobatic Silky can save her through passing her soul, her aura, to her using Momo's psychic powers.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of passing like a wrestler Naruto, kind of passing like the will of fire into somebody else's soul.
Exactly. It's very similar to that. Exactly. So Momo tells Ken, to transform, right, and to his curse power, and to watch out, make sure it doesn't do nothing sus. Okay, bet. So she, connects them to as the middleman, and then from there, we see the past of Acrobatic Silky. So let me get this out of the way immediately, and I'm sorry to burst your bubble, Vash, but that woman is not Arya's mother at all. Okay. That is not. So we see a woman, right, a single mom, taking care of her daughter. She is struggling, in Japan like any other without her father. We don't know where the baby daddy is. We don't know what happened to the husband. We just know that she is single, and she's taking care of the daughter alone. She struggles in her jobs. She is a sex worker. She sleeps with other men for money. She works as a cash register, at any generic 7-Eleven, what they have in Japan. She works also as a janitor, cleaning up floors in I want to say office buildings, schools. I don't remember that part, but she is a janitor. To pay off a debt to, I want to say, the local mafia. We don't know if it's Yakuza or whatever, but it's to some kind of gang. We understand that. So she's struggling day to day, and her only motivation to press on despite this big depression, this big, loss, is her daughter. Waking up in the morning to her smiling, pulling her out of the bed, making food with her, brushing her teeth, and everything like that. It's a nice feeling, as a parent to see like, oh, my daughter's motivating me to, to get that bread and just survive to see the next day. So we see that the mother has acrobatic skills. We don't know how she got it. I guess maybe as a child, whatever. But she's teaching her daughter to be an acrobat just like her. One day during the scene, we see her pass by a store with a nice, lovely dress, and she wants to buy this dress for her daughter. So she uses some of the money that she owes towards the mafia to buy the dress for her birthday.
Oh,
so one scene, we see, the birthday cake. We see the girl in the dress blowing out the candles. It's a nice scene. It's touching. It's like we see, the night sky, and they're enjoying the night together. It's touching. It's like you're working hard to buy something nice for your daughter, during her special day. It's beautiful. Then we'll go to the next scene, where the mafia comes in, fucking throws the table with the cake. It spills on the floor.
Oh shit! They came that same night. Oh damn!
Yeah, and I cannot stress this enough. When I say slaps the dog shit out the mother, that she flies to the other fucking side of the wall. We see her cut on her arm, her hands bleeding everywhere. The daughter's crying so hard, telling them to stop, and they're pretty much upset that she was short cash because she used it on her daughter, saying that it's not right that she had a debt and she used that money for herself when she was using it to pay off the debt. So what do? They rough her up a little bit, and they take away the daughter. So of course the mother's not going to stand for this. The mom starts running, and we go back to that scene in the beginning that I was talking about, where she's very distorted and she's running around the streets of Japan looking for the daughter. And we see the car. So I guess she recognizes the car, that's the car of the mafia. That's where the daughter is. So she's running towards the car, and she collapses. I guess the beating was too much for her. She did get a lot of cuts. She was bleeding a lot everywhere, even around the eye.
Oh shit!
And she bleeds out in the streets in the pouring rain, never to know what happens with her daughter, and dies on the spot.
Damn.
Scene ends. We go now to the next scene, where she is a spirit. She's watching the citizens of Japan pass by her all the time, and she's trying to remember her past, what's her meaning, why she's still here. And we see Ira, right? We see her notice her as a spirit, and she calls her mommy. So everyone's thinking at a point, from the previous episode that, oh, that is her mommy. No, she's calling out for her, mom. So then her father sees her and says, "What are you doing? Come with me. I want to know why you're standing there." So she follows her father, and Ara asks her father, "Where's mom?" And the next scene, we see that there was a funeral for her actual biological mother who had passed away. We don't know why. And the father explained to her that, her mom had gone away somewhere and is not going to come back. And that she has to grow up to be a very strong girl so that when she gets older, she will be ready to face her mother. I'm assuming we're talking about the afterlife. But it's funny that Ira sees, the spirit thinking that it's her mom, but it's not. So now the spirit is like, "You're the only one who noticed me. Nobody else has noticed me, seen me." It's so strange that in that one instance, you noticed me and try to grab my hand. So then she slowly starts seeing Ira and remembers her daughter. And then she starts to remember a bit of what had happened prior to her death. And she starts getting upset, like, "No, that can't happen. I need to protect this girl," which is Ira. Thinking that's her daughter, but it's not, and that's not fair. And we start seeing her transform to the Eros spirit that we know now as Acrobatic Silky. From there, we go into the present. It's explained there that, Acrobatic Silky is going to pass her aura on to Ira. The catch, though, is by doing that, she herself will dissolve from the world as a spirit. You see her as she's passing on an aura to her. She's starting to crumble. She's starting to, wither, pass away. By doing that, she will have no peace in this world. It would be like as if she never existed, this spirit, right? So now, Ken and Momo are like looking at each other and feeling a little upset and bad. Momo's crying like a bitch. I'm crying like a bitch. And I don't mind saying that out loud here in the podcast, saying it, live, pre-recorded, publicly, whatever. I don't give a fuck. I cried so hard because this is an antagonist in a specific episode where you think there's a bad guy here. But this isn't the bad guy you expect. This is not a villain. This is not straight up a villain. This is a person who has suffered and is doing an action for the wrong reasons, but in a sense, in her mind, for the right purpose. And I don't think that's a bad thing. We do sometimes wrong things, wrong actions, and we justify it, right? But this person is not evil by all any means. This episode explains to viewers, like, there may be evil things out there, but they may be acting in their interest in the sense for good, not for, malicious things like with Turbo Granny, We can say all the bad things we want her that she did back then, but she also had,
good
some
intentions,
decency, some good things. Yeah, the same with this character. She may have done some evil things as a spirit here and there, but it was all for her to try to find and protect her daughter. So now we see Acrobatic Silky passing away, dying. Momo can't feel bad. They're trying to find a way to save her, and Turbo Granny explain, like, no, that's it. Like, once she gives the aura to her, she's gone. She will pass from this earth, with a lot of regrets, but she wouldn't have existed. And Iris, hearing this as she's sleeping, she wakes up, she sees that she's about to die. And she just, Acrobatic Silky's, thinking to herself, I wish, I could have seen my daughter one more time. I could have been there, do something, anything. It's a shame that I'm going to pass like this. So Ira runs to her and gives her the biggest hug of her life and tells her that no matter what the circumstances were of, her death or anything, that she loves her. She loves Acrobatic Silky and calls her mom. Scene ends. I'm crying in the club. I'm crying so hard. That the animation that you see, with the child, with the mom, prior to her becoming a spirit, the fight sequence, of Acrobatic Silky and Ken going like that, it was all touching. You see, it's going really fast paced. Everything's going at once. You're at the edge of your seat. Like, is someone going to die? Is this it? Like, is this how it's going to end? And then it ends on a cliffhanger. Not even a cliffhanger. It really ends like on a good note, but also you were also asking for more in that sense. So that I have seen I have to say right here, Vash, I have seen a lot of anime in my time. I've seen a lot of good moments, a lot of good scenes. Nothing touched me more than this scene. And the other scene that has touched me more, made me cry past that, was the ending of Arcane Act 2, which I just saw yesterday. Oh, wow. No other anime has made me emotionally scarred, displeased, like, and itching for more than Dun 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 that was last week. So I honestly I can't wait for episode 8. You know, I did see the preview, of course, after the end. We know that things end on a good note. We do see Ken potentially having a moment with Arya, maybe a potential kiss scene, and Momo getting jealous. We don't know. I'm not gonna say nothing. All we know for sure is one of the golden balls have been retrieved. Now it's time to find the other one, and it's only a matter of time before we find out. Other what he called it? Not golden ball, but he called it something else. His family jewels.
Yeah, the
His family jewels. Only matter of time finds the next one. I'm curious to see if it's gonna be another spirit, an alien. I'm just, or is the next episode gonna be filler? Just like a thank you kind of thing, and just like
Yo, why do you call
where
it filler?
the friendship ends.
Filler is when it's not included in the manga. This is all included in the manga. Don't call it filler. When somebody goes
extra, is it just gonna be an episode where we're just seeing where the friendship stands between
look, a beach episode is not filler. It's called entertainment still.
Potatoes to each their own, but it was touching. That just from that alone. And I know the scenes are gonna get better. I know I've seen some spoilers from the manga here. I know I know what to. I have an inkling of what to expect going down the road. I don't think the true idea of the ending, but Dawn is a masterpiece so far. I have no complaints on it. I know this episode saved it from the previous episode, and that's why it's top 1 right now for week 7. I do agree with the ranking. I do believe it's gonna be 10 out of 10 overall. It is 10 out of 10 for me for any anime for this season, let alone the whole year. It outperformed itself. Personally, all I can say after this is I hope it makes it to the Crunchyroll Awards next year. I hope it makes it out there because, by God, this creator is cooking. And I cannot wait to see what other fight scenes, what other emotional roller coaster is going to make me go through.
The director, for anybody, go search on YouTube. He did an interview for episode 1, 2, and 3 on theater, and he explained how he saw the perspective when he wanted to animate this, and he wanted to give the different perspective of the love romance between these two characters that are in a school setting fighting ghouls and plus aliens. So I really do suggest to go check that out, please. Other than that, great choice, Crash, with your episode of the week and / review. Is that all you have to say? Any last thoughts other than that before we transition into Vash pick?
If Ken doesn't kiss anybody next episode, I'm gonna be very upset. And what I will say is rest in peace to Acrobatic Silky. Your death will not be in vain. And I'm so sorry for your tragic backstory. That was not something I asked for. That's not something you deserved. But yet it made you the top, 1 of the week. And by God, I'm still at a loss for words for what I've seen. Animation wise slapped. Emotionally slapped. The music was amazing too. Masterpiece. Just straight masterpiece.
And you heard it here. Masterpiece. So for my current my current episode of the week is Dragon Ball Daima episode 6. Yes, guys, it's not the most notorious talker, and it's not a Villainess go down in history. No, it's Dragon Ball Daima episode 6 called Lightning. After encountering the Gendarmerie, the wardens of the demon realm, the 4 are forced to camp in a cave where they encounter further trouble. The gigantic Gloria unleashes lightning magic against Goku to resolve the situation. That's the synopsis of episode 6. And look, like I said earlier, have not watched Dandadan, but I heard from Crash Take. Sounds emotional. I will give my opinion on it on next episode of Off Da Binge. Where you can hear my opinion about episode 7 and 8 when the time comes. But for Dragon Ball 6 episode Daima, one thing I want to say, guys, go to YouTube, search 2 things: Dragon Ball GT opening Nicktoons and Dragon Ball GT dub version opening. There's 2 of those openings, and it's fucking amazing. The GT Nicktoons is the one I grew up and heard of. Crash himself didn't hear or remember until today. He maybe heard it as a kid and forgot about it. But look, it's fucking amazing. Dragon Ball GT, if you didn't know, it's called Grand Tour is what it stands for. Because a lot of people sometimes be forgetting. So it's amazing. And the reason I bring it up, because watching this episode of Dragon Ball Daima, I was laughing. I was giggling. And I was tired. I'm exhausted from working. I've been overworking myself this past couple weeks. But I literally got home. I told wife, yo, man, I just want to watch some anime. She said, yeah, go watch. I just sit here with you. All right, cool. I was watching like back to back 3-4 episodes of anime. And Dragon Ball Daima, I was literally exhausted, laughing. I was like literally like an old man just clapping like a couple of times and have a little moment, a momentary, just every second between a clap. And I was enjoying myself. There's a comedy, as you see from the image right here behind me. This man, this Minotaur, came out with an underwear only, literally coming out and said, yo, I'm starving. I came out of my cave to come and eat people or kill people. But you know what? I see my entree came to me. He looks at Goku and everything like, alright. Goku said, alright, I'm gonna fight you. Goku partnered this dude. He literally said, nah, Goku, I got him. Goku deadass had the balls to be like, not to be rude, buddy, but I'm stronger than you in every way possible. Glorio was like, you're joking, right? He like, nah, I am. And said, all right, let's go one-on-one. They had a battle. The most funniest shit is that this Minotaur was watching this and like scared as hell. Was like, oh, my dumbass, was gonna fight these one little kid and this tall little boy here. I was gonna fight them. I was gonna get beaten like a motherfucker. And I'm like, shit. Yeah, and just the expression, the comedy. You had comedy of what it felt like Dragon Ball. You had Goku questioning himself if he could still turn Super Saiyan 1 as a kid. And he did it, the fight, the animation, the CG, really fluidly. It felt like the game mechanics or the game animation from Sparking Zero, very fluidly in the anime form of Daima. We saw Goku saying he's gonna take a shit and ask for some tissues, and he went out in the forest to take a shit and come back. It was coming. Yes, my boy Goku literally went to go take a dookie, and while he went to take a dookie, he asked for some tissues to clean himself. And we also, while he was taking a dookie, like for a good 5-10 minutes, he's a wanted man because some people like to patrol cops, you know, came around and said, hey, have you seen a little kid with spiky hair and everything? And they left. They said, nah, we don't know. We're just here patrolling and everything. Goku came back out after the patrols guys left. He's like, whoo, that dookie was strong, but thank you. Threw two tissues back. The most funny shit is the princesses, the girl, right here, the princess. The girl asked Goku, is there a way that you could change up your hair? He said, nah, my hair is mad stiff. It doesn't go down. So then I'm like, but then he said, it doesn't change. And I'm like, bro, what you talking about? Whenever you go to a whole type of Super Saiyan mode, it changes color and it changes form by adding another extra spike somewhere. So what the fuck you talking about? It doesn't go. But I guess when you're in regular human form, it just doesn't stay. Like, it just stays stiff in this way, that way, one poke this way. Sure, okay, Goku, but that's a good humor to understand the logics of Saiyans, that once their hair stay in one form, is always there. Like, this episode, I could list you, though, so many cute comedy stuff, and the fight animation was amazing. The Minotaur literally telling Goku them, after Goku had his one-on-one battle, Goku literally said, alright, we're done fighting. It's your turn, Minotaur. You said you want to fight us. The Minotaur was slowly trying to walk away and escape this bullshit. Like, nah, I ain't fighting. Yeah, crazy. He literally came up and Goku told him, like, yo, still want to fight? The Minotaur literally said, you know what, guys? I am not hungry. I forgot I have some steak in my fridge in my cave. While he was walking away, his stomach was growling. He like, you know what, guys? I gotta go. I'm out. Deuces and left. And I'm like, man, he was a bitch. He got worse. But it was just a comedy of it. Like, this episode was adorable. The animation, the fight was amazing. The score was a great. I actually chose to listen to the opening ending. Where, by the way, the opening ending will start to become like my second or third favorite songs of this season. Like, of course, Dana, like number one. But the opening of Dragon Ball Daima and the ending, it's just so soothing and it's just nice and catchy. I feel like the ending is like a nice song to just hit, you know, like while you're driving, it's just a nice song just to hit down the road.
The only takeaway I got from your whole thing was Goku was out of pocket for taking shit outside and threw some tissue at them. That's crazy. And the
clean
opening.
tissues, not dirty tissues, clean tissues.
Okay, that's why I'm like, no way Dragon Ball let that slide. No, I had to see that myself personally. But I'm glad it was clean. And then the opening you're saying it's like you brought up with Don. It's gonna be very interesting. Again, bringing up the Crunchyroll Wars because it's gonna be contesting with Oshinoko season 2 because that opening was just as good. I'm very curious. Like if whoever wins, either or, both great songs. I don't care. Like they're both great. I couldn't choose either or. But I'm just curious to see who is going to win in that aspect. But a great synopsis for Dragon Ball Daima. That alone was making me think, damn, I really wish you should catch up and should probably watch that really soon. That sounds funny.
Like I'm telling you, right now is the perfect time to catch up Dragon Ball Daima because right now we're on episode 6. We're about to reach episode 7, so we're about to reach the next half batch of the arc and. Vegeta and his crew should be coming along by next episode, by episode 8. So right now it's the perfect time to catch up and see the heavy lore of the first 6 episodes. Very slow, but very build up to what it is. So I highly recommend anybody that you've been waiting to watch Dragon Ball Daima. Right now it's the perfect time. It has the comedy, it has the humor, it has the fighting. The magic between Goku and his opponent of Glorio. I felt like I was watching. Remember Azula from Avatar the last Airbender. Yeah. Whenever she does a lightning, that's the guy that Goku was fighting. His style was a lot like Azula with the lightning powers and just throwing lightning everywhere and controlling. Like I felt like a Sasuke with the lightning dragon he does. He did something like that, but more like a lightning type of serpent. So it was really cool as well. So
you mean Zuko?
No, Sasuke. Yeah, it's Sasuke.
Okay.
Remember when Sasuke in Naruto, he had like a lightning dragon he does at times?
Yes, okay, I understand. I thought you meant like Zuko like redirecting the lightning. I was like, wait, no, he does that too.
No.
Okay.
So Sasuke, so instead of doing lightning dragon, this character, Glorio, he does a lightning type of serpent and he's very quick with it. So like it gave you a mixture of Azula with Sasuke type of lightning style.
Okay.
So really cool in that aspect. Other than that, I don't want to go full details spoilery, but I want to give that full type of synopsis and overall arching arc. And I highly recommend it for anybody that has been slacking on it. Go check it out. Really entertaining. Other than that, I am good to move on to our fourth and last segment of the night. Since we did our done review, we saved that for ourselves so we could jump into the fall 2024 anime ranking conversation and then talk about personal. Then we end our show, chat.
Let's go. Let's get it. You mind if I start off the first couple?
Yeah, start with the first 5 because last week I did the first 5 and then you did the 6 through 10. So now let's do it. You go through the 1 through 5. Talk about your quick highlights, thoughts. Go ahead.
Okay. Starting off real quick. Rank 1, Dun. I already explained the synopsis. Just go back, rewatch it on the timestamp. And it goes without saying. For rank 2 and 3, 2 being ReZero season 3 and Bleach part 3, the conflict, the 1,000-year blood war. We are not currently watching it. It is going to be in the works to be watched in the future. For all sakes and purposes, we will agree with the score. I am hearing from both animes, both shows are cooking. They are progressively putting good plots, good fight sequences. Something's going down in these animes, is why they're so high right now in ranking. I don't know exactly what, but for all things purposes, I agree with it. It's high. I'm hearing a lot of things on social media, so it must be something good. Rank 4, Blue Box. I will say real quick, before anything, going into episode 7, I do get a lot of spoilers beforehand, unfortunately, because I guess the episodes air in Japan first before getting to us here on Netflix.
They're a week ahead of us. So out of all animes, the only one that us US people are a week behind is Blue Box on Netflix because they're a week ahead.
So with that being said, there was already scenes, not spoiler, but I had an inkling what was going on. That threw me off because the synopsis of episode 7 on Netflix made it seem as if there's a lot of jealousy between Chinasu and Hina. So I'm thinking, maybe I'm gonna see something more like more feelings, more romantical aspect happening with these characters. Which wasn't far off. There wasn't really a lot of jealousy which is why I'm very disappointed that I was kind of like led astray from that synopsis of episode 7. But majority of that episode was just more of the development of more romantic feelings towards Taiki, Chinasu, and Hina. You see a lot of development with Taiki and his badminton. You see some developments happening with, Shinasu and her basketball. Her style playing. The team that she lost to in the previous year is recording her on the low and saying that she's still trash this. We can definitely defend her that. She's playing it off like nothing, but hearing that Taiki is backing her up, supporting her no matter, her growth is very comforting. And we just see more of that romantical development happening between them. We see them going home, even though they're not supposed to because they live together, they still do it anyways. So you see that, nice romantic, gesture, the growth. Like you see some sparks flying, but that's about it for Blue Box. For rank 5 is tying the knot with an Amagami sister. And for this one, I will try to be as big, like not spoiler at all. I'll try to make this very easy and simple.
By the way, guys, I do recommend to go watch it. I am watching. I'm literally one episode behind because I'm currently on episode 6. I'm gonna state that now. I'm literally need to finish episode 6 and then watch 7. I'm literally right there behind it. So go watch it. We recommend it. We're both watching it. He's just an episode ahead of me. So other than that, tell your thoughts overall with episode 7 because hey, stay as rank 5. A week later, that's good.
My personal synopsis from episode 7, I put it as a shocking development occurs where Uru, Ye, Yuna, and Aishi now have to face their futures face to face and make a decision on their reality that will affect their lives forever. And again, I'm not trying to spoil anything, but they are going to a new shrine to go for help because school is starting for some of them. And they have a lot of people attending their shrine, so they want some advice of how they can run it while they're doing other things in their own personal lives. And a certain fact is said to all 4 of them that really affects them deeply, which is why you kind of see you kind of see this girl's face, Yuna, right there in the middle, like kind of like white eyes, like Dutzy. So that fact affects him a lot, and it's up pretty much to Uru to find out like a way to fix this, like their reaction towards this fact, and make a decision on their own future. It could be about the marriage, it could be about the future, about the shrine, it could be about his own future becoming a doctor. Who really knows? But he, the first person that he goes to fix this is the middle daughter, Yuna. And all I'm gonna say, minor spoilers is, some pants falls down, an etchy moment. We see a boob getting groped, ayo. But potentially more etchy things next episode.
I can't wait to see what's to come with that. For number 6 is Blue Box season 2.
Fuck that.
We're not watching that. We're good to move on. We have number 7. Danmachi, is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon? Season 5, episode 7, most likely. 7. Mm-hmm. You know what's funny? Talk about Danmachi. Look, once I catch up to the 3 animes I'm trying to catch up to, Tower of God and a few others, and then finish a few of my summer animes by the beginning of December. I plan to catch up with Danmachi. If I decide to wait for it, I would just wait for part 2 of the season, and then lead up to that, because then I'm getting the itch to start watching it. So that's something great. I cannot give any thoughts for ranking 7. So if you want to give it now, Crash, you can. If not, you could wait until to give it to your personal. You can.
I'll give it here real quick. So for Danmachi, episode 7, we do get development, and from the previous episode, we're seeing now who was unaffected by Freya's, love charm, pretty much, which is Ryu, which was the guide. God, I'm gonna I forgot his name. His assistant, Hermes' assistant. Excuse me. There we go. Hermes' assistant, and the cat girl, Anya, who is working pretty much with in the tavern and everything. So we see all 3 of them and their reaction to what's going on, pretty much with Freya acting this way. Long story short, We see them try to help Belle to no avail. Freya is one step ahead of the game. She knows pretty much who isn't affected by her and is going out of her way pretty much to stop them. She even, minor spoilers, I apologize. She even offers Ryu a three-way with Belle. She was like, you know what? I fuck everybody else, but because you and me have like a special bond, a special friendship, I will let you. You're the only bitch I will let slide. I will let you get hit by the back by this man. I will let you get pregnant. She says it outright too. I will let you get pregnant by him. I have a baby and everything. I'm like, hey, yo, and you're cool with that? She's like, yes, I'm okay with you doing this. We could share him, tag team him. I don't give a fuck. And I'm like, word on God. And
all
she
right,
hits her.
Damachi, you Mike. I'm curious to see if this is how it's going down. I'm like, damn, Fred, you don't give a fuck. It's like you are still your man. I'm like, I don't care who you belong to. You're gonna be mine no matter what. Damn, Freya, you are. It's kind of like that song. You're so obsessed with me.
Yeah, with what Mariah Carey? Why
Yeah.
are you?
Exactly that one. So like, god damn. Okay, Freya, you're freaking freak. Anything else to add on that?
Yeah. So again, real quick. Ryu gets stopped. She gets captured. The only one left, and Anya, she tries to talk to Freya, doesn't work out. Brother says stay out of her way. She's crying really, really hard. I get emotional. She lost her whole idea of what she had as a family at the tavern is now gone. Of course, she feels that way. So the only person left is Hermes' assistant. We don't know how she's gonna try to stop Freya by herself. It's gonna be really hard. So now we have Belle still working, training, in the Freya family and everything like that. And he is slowly succumbing to Freya's plot. But just as you think, like he's gonna fall for the traps, bam, he throws a plot twist, which I'm gonna stay quiet about. There's a lot of memes going on about that whole thing. But we still see low-key that he's not there yet. He's not succumbing to her traps. So the plot is developing. We don't know how Belle's going to be saved, if he's going to try to save himself. All we know for sure is Ryu is going to the Freya Familia's dungeon, which is way, way, way deep in the basement. Maybe he somehow gets down there and they can reunite or something. We don't know. But Damachi is getting really interesting. And I feel bad for Estesia more than anything because she's trying to make her own moves and it's not going her way. So let's see what happens next episode. I'm really looking forward to see what Freya has in store next for everybody.
I like the sound of that. It sounds like a good episode. It sounds like things are cooking up, heating up. Knowing how to cheat on the next person. But for number 8 ranking, we have Seiya Jinzoki, Spirit Chronicles season 2, episode 7. I have not seen it. I can't add too many thoughts. Demon Lord 2099. Haven't seen it. Haven't continued it. But I'm very happy to see in top 10 ranking still. So it makes me more like, okay, maybe I should catch up to it a lot more. And 2.5 Dimension Seduction stayed at ranking 10. What you think about it, Crash? Because I know you're watching it. You got some thoughts.
Yeah, I do. I'm not gonna speak much on it. There's nothing much going on there. Again, I don't know why it's still at 10. I don't believe it deserves that ranking. Anything, I even say Daima could have been up at 10. Pretty much the crew just got to the summer Comcat, at the convention, and we see the big difference between how they used to go to small conventions and more easier. Now going to a bigger convention is a little more harder for them to deal with the crowds, trying to grab their attention, to take photos of them in their cosplays, and we see the effects of how the weather, the temperatures affect people overall. It's hot, it's summer, like it's really, really hot. We see pretty much that it affects, the whole crew, like all the girls need to take more water breaks, need to relax. But by doing that, they lose the crowd that's taking photos of them. So now the plan is, how do we maintain the crowd taking photos of us while staying hydrated, while taking good photos with the right posture? That's what's going to happen going on into the next episode.
Okay. It makes me more intrigued to jump on this anime, but currently I'm 18 episodes behind, so I had a full 6-8 hour day of a binge right there.
I will say real quick, I was listening to some VTubers. I don't remember their names, so I'm not going to bother. But the conversation they were having was that one of their chat members was telling them that this anime could be compared to My Dress Up Darling in that cosplay aspect, and I disagree harshly. This anime is nothing like My Dress Up Darling. There's more of a romantic aspect to this than with the harem / ecchi, not really ecchi aspect, right? Marin is her own character. Goju is his own character. This MC, this guy is a total bitch. He doesn't really do much to try to progress his own relationship with these girls because he likes to. The thing you have to take away from this anime is like he likes 2D girls. He likes the manga, the anime, the video game aspect. He doesn't like real girls yet. I'm pretty sure with time they're gonna change him to that. With My Dress Up Darling, this guy is just making Hina dolls by himself. For his grandfather. Like, he's doing his thing, and he meets a Gairu. These girls, you meet the one Gairu, but she's just starting off cosplay and everything like that. This girl is already doing everything on her own. So there's a bit of similarities, but I wouldn't say My Dress Up Darling and 2.5, Dimensional Seduction is the same thing. If that's what's gonna make you watch the anime, I would not recommend it. If you're trying to watch a decent harem with some ecchi points, then I'd say watch 2.5 Dimensional Seduction.
Okay, that's good to know for the fans, the audience, and the crowd. So definitely go check that out if you want to see itchiness, harem, and little slight cosplay story. But when it comes to that, we have seen what the anime community has rated their top 10 animes for this week. What is our top 10 anime ranking for week 7 of the fall season? We're going to go to Vash for his weekly top 10 week 4-7 first.
Before we start on yours, do you want to say any honorable mentions real quick? At least a little bit.
The honorable mention, I was gonna mention them. Well, like the first 3, I was gonna mention them during mine, and then you can mention the others.
No, that's fine. 3 is okay.
When it comes to my Vash weekly top 10 anime ranking for week 7 of the fall season 2024, I have not seen the most recent episode of Done episode 7, but I still enjoyed it very well from what I'm hearing from Crash and from Walkers from my Discord server. It seems like a hype episode, good stuff all around. Love it. Arifureta, I didn't get to see episode 6. I started it. I didn't get to finish it. Well, I'm going to say that episode 6 was funny. But that's more for week 8, I believe. So I won't give too much information since that was more for week 8. Episode 5. It was really dope to see our boy Nagumo talking to the other elders or the other elders of the village. Like we saw like a werewolf, we saw an elf, and we saw somebody else. I forgot.
You talking about the demi-humans?
Yeah, the demi-humans. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty cool. So he's about to have a meeting with them, and that's about it for Arifureta. You got any more thoughts for Arifureta for this past episode 5 for week 7?
I do. So, I mean, I'd say like after the fight, after the victory with the Empire, we see a closer personal development with Hajime and Shea. I personally wouldn't have minded a little bit more of a physical romantic moment with them. I really thought they were going to do something more than what they did. I thought we may even had a kiss scene at that point, and I personally wouldn't have minded that either. I really think he does care for Shea. I just don't think it's in the way that we as viewers want it to be. I think his eyes is only for Yui, which is fine. I love her too as a character. I will always ship them, but it is a harem that he has as well too. He does care for both of them, so I wouldn't look past the idea that if he also wants to do something with Shea, he would. And this episode would have been the perfect point to do it. They didn't. They just, I guess, left it as, we're very good friends. I care for you deeply. If you need anything, I got you. That's the biggest takeaway I got from it. It was a nice moment. It was a nice touching moment, to say the least.
Also, it was really interesting that the chief of their tribe, of the bunny, they declined the seat at the table.
I think that makes sense. I mean, you're gonna have, in any kind of, council, in any type of board, you're gonna have a rebellious person or rebellious group in that, little faction. So I think it's best to say he knew that too than anything. What he's doing is not traditional. It's not the right way that they usually go about things. And I think it's because of the times that, they're at the lowest point that they need hope. And they're gonna use that hope play dirty. So of course he can't take that seat since it wasn't the traditional way that they won. If they won the normal way through fighting, for sure he deserves it. But because he knows that he used Hajime's help in that sense to win against the Empire, he can't take that seat. He's gonna have to play the villain in the villagers' eyes, recruit them to try to join their family, their tribe, and to attack more and try to prosper in more areas, as demi-humans.
That's what it felt like. I felt like he was trying to be his own version of the Ambu Black Ops.
100%, 100% agree with that. I think he's trying to be like the boss. He's been his own way. You're exactly
Yeah,
right.
his own way,
Exactly.
like trying to put the ample block of do their own thing, do their own secretive style, their own version. So that's something that's pretty cool. And I love how Hajime was like, "You do you, my guy. I'm not bothered. You wanna decline? You do you." And they was appreciative of how supportive they are. I agree with Shia. Shia's relationship, and I'm okay with that because Shia is. It seems like she wants more of a companionship. She's willing to be more, but if she could only be companion with Hajime, she's okay with that because she enjoys the presence, the companionship, the type of person he is, and I feel like that's really cool. Like knowing that
100%.
balance, knowing that communication with one another as a spouse, knowing that you still got your main partner, but if you have other options, you don't have to say yes to all of them right now. You could say yes to them later. But right now you have them as companion, as friends. So I
No,
feel like
100% agree.
that's very successful in that aspect. For the next anime that I am watching is as Reincarnated as an Aristocrat. I'll use my appraisal skill to rise in the world season 2, episode 7. Look, this episode was great because it shows the art of war. What I mean by that, it shows the character that you cannot win everything. You sometimes lose people in battle, and you have to accept that you may be ready to win a battle, go there, hoorah! But then there's also the off chance that you could die on the line of duty, and I love that because even our young general, that's 13 years old, I believe, he's doing great, but he didn't come to the reality and understanding that you could also die in battle, and that is something that you have to live with. Understand that your troops came to support you but was willing to lose by you. They lost in battle, but they lost because they believe in you as a person and what you could accomplish, and that's what matters. And that to me was very beautiful.
I like that. I really like that analogy.
Yeah, that was one of the greatest things in this episode. Dragon Ball Daima episode 6. Like I said earlier, go check out the time code in that one if you want to know why. Demon Lower 29 haven't caught up to Dragon Goodbye Dragon Life. We finally get the demons that escape from the most recent episode, and I will say this: the demon somehow could, well, the strongest demon could sense that our main character has the soul of a dragon. He has a spirit of a dragon and is coming out of his magic, pouring out. And the demons start to sense that, like, yo, you ain't normal. What the fuck is going on here? And the demon noticed that, and the main character like, nah, what you talking about, my G? I'm a normal human. And like, nah, I see something. I like, in New York, we have a saying: if you see something, say something.
Say something.
This type of demon, type of god, type of final boss was like, hey, I see something and I'm saying something, but you're telling me that when I'm seeing it's not there. When I see that it's there, don't try to pretend that's not there because I'm looking what is there. And the main character is still like, nah, there's nothing there. There's no dragon white form coming out and just giving me extra strength. No, that's some bullshit. So that's hilarious. That was the most funniest thing that stood out this episode. Other than that, when the demon said, I will come back in 3 days and to finish you guys off. Goodbye. I'm like, all right. So that means by episode 10 maybe or 11, because right now we're on episode 7. So I'm like, if these are the big and final boss, we're going to defeat them in episode 7, 8. What the fuck are we going to do the next 4 episodes? It's like,
yeah,
like there's more story. But then once you said 3 days from now, I'm like, okay. So that means we're gonna have more shit happening going on right now.
Yeah, that's a big trope. It should be 10, latest 11, because you can't just like go to 11 and then it's like a whole fight scene and then it's done. You know what I mean? Like it's got to build up to it a little bit.
Like that's some crazy long type of epilogue, like 4 episodes of telling more story, unless it's like a next arc. But like this is type of the Sika type of fantasy story that looks like very simple, straightforward. So I don't think we're gonna have a lot of lore in this show. But hey, I Become Villainous, who goes on the history episode 7. Great episode, man. We have the lore continuous of our characters, emotional. This was emotional week for our girl, the Villainous, because she had to train from level 80 to jump to level 90. And she did it like in 3 years. She's like, girl hype herself that she's gonna do it for a couple months. Nah, she did it within 3 years. Girl grew stronger. got a lot of bigger oppai now. So I think she's 16 now. So it's like, okay, she aged, she
Oh,
developed.
I think what? Yeah, no, I'm like, oh, she grew up. Oh, but she's 16. Oh, no, 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 my
Yeah,
fault, my fault.
yeah, something like that. Because at first she was 13 or 14, so now she had to age up, which makes sense because there's a lot of time skip of show to get to the game and everything. So I guess this is their anime version trying to tell us. Who knows how it was in the manga? Probably more storyboard or lore build. But great episode, love it. Blue Box haven't caught up to it. The Tower God haven't caught up to the most notorious episode. I mean, the most notorious talker runs in the world's strongest clan. He beat the mafia boss. He beat the mafia boss. You know, the boss got.
You know, I will say, I don't know if I did tell you, that previous episode, there was a picture of it from Crunchyroll itself on social media. So, like, I see now, like, I don't know the context of what exactly went down with defeating the mafia, but, like, you see his face, like, evil, like, yeah, I'm the one who did that. So I'm like, oh, I guess it must be, like, something's going on.
Yeah.
If it's, you know.
Yeah, this guy is like Shikamaru unleashed when they kill his mentor of, you know, Asuma. You know, he said, why are you gonna kill my mentor Asuma? I'm gonna slice you up too. I'm gonna throw a fire in this pit and burn you alive and say, you pray to your god now. Alright, cool. So our talker here, Noel, but it's funny. I didn't really notice it, but the mafia boss said, you look like a girl. And then I had to pause it and be like, you know, he actually does. The animation really did design him to look like a girl.
That's
I don't know.
Wild.
I don't know if that's on purpose, but he's very feminine. He's very feminine. He reminds me a bit of Doflamingo.
Would you say he's a trap then, or no? They're not pushing it.
No, not trap. More Doflamingo style, like very feminine of the style of like he's like somehow the hair looks very glossy, his eyelash is very pointy and everything. He's just very feminine that style, but my dude got style. That's all. But
fair.
other than Yuma 7, episode 7, cute as hell. You gotta go on a shopping district. Girl looks good in everything, right, Crash? Girl looks good in everything. Girl had no flaws.
Look, the swimsuit was very, very nice to look at. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, you know.
Nothing more.
Yeah, girl's an assassin. Girl, you got to do. So look, I did catch up to one thing. The healer who has banished from his party is in fact the strongest. I did catch up. Episode 7. Look, is it great? No. Is it good? Yes. Is it trash mid? No. Good, solid 7.2. I would give it. It is entertaining. Somehow the MC has some type of dark past or probably demon inside him, or some type of anger mode because he got mad that somebody smacked their best friend or the companion in their party down, and then he turned into like a whole red eyes and then slashed like 100 times to the opponent, and then after that he passed out. I'm like, cool. That's the big cliffhanger of like, and then we have the Grand Master of the capital city, like the guild master, saying that we have had something dormant for so long, but now it has awakened. That's it. I'm like, okay, cool. Very, very vague. Very trying to keep the audience interested to be like, oh, well, he got a demon. Is he possessed? Is he like some type of Naruto? Is he like an old demon lord, or is he a two personality type of character? What's going on here? He has a different side of him. So that was pretty cool. The action was cool. Other than that, you know, very simple, straightforward. Time of a Night with Amagami's sister, episode 25. I'm sorry, episode 5 I've seen. I'm currently on episode 6. And the last I was going to bring up that I'm trying to catch up to Tower of God, maybe 2.5 Dimension, Blue Box, and Demon Lord 299. Once I catch up to those, and also Yakuza. So once I catch up to those 4 or 5 animes, I'm going to see where I land and catch up to other animes of this season that looks interesting. If not, this would be my solid list of this fall season, and I'm proud because this is the most I've seen this whole year, or maybe past 2 years in one season. So I've seen more than fucking like 13 animes I'm currently watching. That's fucking accomplishment, man. That's a good shit.
I know my younger self would be looking at me like, that's all you could watch, just 9. Shame on you. Used to watch like 25 in a day. You could only watch 9.
Yeah,
I'm
you
like...
slacking, Crash. You slacking. But talking about your 9, talk to me. Tell me, run them by me.
Okay, so I'm gonna make my list very quick because I already had talked about them a lot. Timestamp is on the bottom if you guys just want to re-listen to my takes. But my top of the list, rank 1 of my personal ranking for week 7, Dun Da Dun. You already know why. Shout out to Acrobatic Silky. Number 2, Blue Box. It has to be said that the romantical feeling between all 3 characters was very, very nice. It was touching. Number 3 is going to be Tying the Knot with an Amagami sister. The development, actually, going to that specific question that I spoke about, was very serious, believe it or not. That's why it's very high up there for me. And the interaction pretty much with the interaction pretty much with Yuru and Yuna was not only funny, but it's also serious in a sense, like, where do we stand in our relationship? So that was why I rated so highly over rank 4, which is Damachi. I like Freya and what she's doing and everything, but, Tying the Knot kind of went a little harder than Damachi for once. That's why I'm hoping it goes a more higher next week. It might stay the same, who knows, but, that's my my little theory going on to week 8. But going on to rank 5, Yakuza Fiance. So you said you're not up to date, Vash. Let me spit a little bit about why you should get onto it immediately, not just with Damachi or Don Da Don or everything else. Yakuza Fiance, right? So again, this week was a bit of spoilers overall because every anime minus MF Ghost Season 2 was spoiled for me. Oh, every single episode was spoiled to me. I can't explain to you how or why it was. So including this anime, it was spoiled for me. So going on to this anime before watching it, I was shown a photo on social media with a huge spoiler. That photo was me under the assumption that the main and the MC's love interest, Kirishima, was sleeping with Yoshino's cousin. So I'm like, oh shit, they were just chilling in the last episode, like talking about how we like are trying to support Yoshino in her own way, and now they're sleeping together. I know they're for the streets, but damn, that's wild. Like just like that, and they're gonna do it behind her back. I was like, oh, this anime is getting straight spicy. No, I misunderstood the photo. So going into the anime, right? He's still two-timing. He's still like hanging around with girls, whatever, right? But in this specific episode, he's seeing an old ex, a fling that they used to know each other from in their I believe it was middle school days. So she was well known as an actress. She still is. She's still doing her thing, right? And she had to get away from him because he was toxic, Yakuza, blah blah blah. But she still kind of had him in the back of his mind. Going into the present, she's back in town. She's at this party, whatever, and they actually link up again. He passes along his number. Of course, she falls to the traps. She texts him. They meet up. I don't know if they did something. It is implied that something did happen, but I can't say for certain. And of course, he's telling her that he's trying to get serious with this, girl Yoshino. And she actually might potentially marry her, yada yada, and this hurts her because she thought that she was like her. Every girl's like, I thought I was the main, I was the one for you. Now you're going with this other girl. And at the very end of the episode, we see the photo of Yoshino in that bikini. So now she knows how Yoshino looks like, right? So I'm gonna spoil just a little bit, not too much because I'm not finished. But I'm at the current episode that just released, and all I'm gonna say is the side piece, is now meeting with Yoshino, and they're talking, and they're trying to understand each other and their logic of like, am I gonna be, with Kirishima or not? Like, what's the vibe? So it's getting spicy when the main and the side talking together about this one dude. I'm really curious to see how it's gonna keep going. I won't spoil any more on that because I'm not up to date with that, but I'm currently watching that right now. Definitely get on this because I like the dramatic aspect of two timing of. Yeah, this guy is a piece of shit. She knows that, and she's letting it rock. Like, it's whatever. Because she's, at the end of the day, she doesn't expect him to, stay with her and marry and all this, because, he's not like that. But this girl wants him, knowing that he's still a fuckboy. Is she still gonna stay with, this guy, or is she just fuck it, let him be with Yoshino? I lost, whatever, it is what it is. I'm curious to see how that's gonna go down in this new episode coming up. That was rank 5. Going to rank 6 is You Are My Servant. It was already spoken on already. We have rank 7 for me, Arifureta. It's really weird that it was lower, but that's because, again, it's what happened after the fight. It was just a little moment, like I said, with Shay and Hajima. So there's not going to be much to add there. Rank 8 for me is going to be MF Ghost. Again, literally from the previous episode, and even with the last one I just saw last Sunday, nothing is happening. It's going to be the next episode going into week 8 that's going to make a big difference. But if anything, we just see pretty much Kanta still driving like a badass in the rain and the fog. But now that the rain has stopped and the fog has lifted, everyone behind him, but because he's at 3rd place right now, everyone behind him is slowly starting to catch up. And we do see that happening in the last episode that happened. Is he going to be able to maintain his lead in 3rd place, or is he going to actually lose a rank?
So would you say that MF Ghost for season 2, would you say that this season is more of a bingeable watch than more of a weekly?
Yes, it is. The biggest thing, and it's a low-key anime, the biggest thing someone, going to this anime is it's a racing anime, it's a sports anime. If you don't like driving, if you don't like cars, do not watch it. It's not worth your time. If even you have like an idea of cars, but you just don't like the idea of racing or just like speed or acceleration or anything like that, don't watch it. There is a romantic aspect, with Kanata and the girl that he is staying at home with, but past that, the only other thing you could take away from this is that there's a goal in mind to this whole anime, and it's to find his father, who is not in the picture anymore. But that's in between races, and there's not really a lot of progression happening since season 1 with that. They are looking, both of them are looking for his father, trying to see where he may be. But that's about it. We do get a photo of him now. We do know what he looks like. But past that, I mean, your guess is as good as mine when they're going to actually progress anything with that. But past the mystery aspect of who the father is, where he might be, and the romantic aspect of, will he date, the girl that he's staying over with, I forget her name, or one of the angels, in the races for MFG, there's really not much going on besides straight racing and Eurobeat music playing in the background. So it's like, if you're not listening to like that, go in the background, you're going to be fucking bored. That's straight up. Me, I like racing. I like the aspect. The animation CGI is also another thing.
So
it's
you like
hit or miss.
racing that's considered a sport. Interesting. Copy.
I mean, there's NASCAR. There was a NASCAR anime that came out. There's also Girls Racing that came out, I believe, 2 or 3 seasons ago, anime seasons ago, which I already spoke about, was straight trash. No, I think it was the bottom of the barrel too. I think it was like a 5.10 out of 5.10 out of 10. But this one is a low key. Not a lot of people watching it, but it's I wouldn't say spin-off. I guess it would be like what happens after the events of Initial D, which I personally never watched, but I listen to a lot of Initial D soundtrack music, so of course, I gotta get into that. But you could binge it, but it's not for everybody, so just keep that in mind. If you're not into racing, don't watch it. Don't waste your time. And then finally, that was for rank 8 MF Ghost season 2. And then for my final rank 9 is 2.5 Dimensional Seduction, because nothing literally happens. Like I said,
but
I already spoke on that.
You already spoke that one earlier on
the
previous time ago, so people can already see that. But other than that is for our Off Da Binge episode 4. So, because we already did our anime spotlight that you spoke about for that done review earlier. I already did my Dragon Ball Daima earlier. We already spoke about Arifureta and everything. By the way, I had a epiphany of how to change up something, but I will speak to Crash after we're done. So, because people are going to see something new next week that I just thought about. But that is the end of our episode 4 of Off Da Binge podcast. So, reflection. What is the wrap of our 4th episode of Off Da Binge? What do you think, Crash? How do you feel about tackling this 4th episode so far?
I think overall we got our points across. Rest in peace to Acrobatic Silky. You will be missed. I definitely watched Dawn to Dawn episode 7. Even if you are not up to date or you've never started the anime, I do highly recommend that. no more long ass isekai names, please. I'm sick and tired of hearing them. I am. Please make them shorter. Something, anything. I can't wait for week 8. I believe there's gonna be a lot of new potential animes coming out of the blue onto this next ranking. Because last week is the same as this week, nothing has changed. So I think with going to week 8, there's gonna be a lot of new plots, new developments. A lot of anime are gonna be cooking. It's gonna be very curious to see what's gonna be ranked going on to next week for week 8.
For me is don't leave the cave in your undies and ask for the smoke and you can't pack it up. Because, man, there's Minotaur. Look at it. This man was about to ask for the hands. He can't defend it. He can't even defend his pride. And the undies, his whole ass cheeks are showing just like our boy Mike Tyson. So my boy, you slacking. However, this was a fun episode. Like Crash said, we were discussing about the anime. We enjoyed what it was. We had a good time. We spoke about Daima. I got spoiled about it, but I was in my head paying attention, not paying attention. Like, okay, word, I'm gonna still watch. I'm gonna still be like, oh my god, what? I didn't know. Woo! But overall, this was a good episode. Can't wait for episode 5 because now that I have time this week, I could plan to catch up and finish a lot more stuff in the next coming weeks.
I will say, before we end it, I do plan to watch Sonic 2 because I actually have never watched Sonic 2. It's a movie, again, not anime related, but I do plan to watch that and the Knuckles spinoff before the new Sonic 3 movie comes out. So stay tuned for that. I definitely want to watch that. I hope, Vash, you finish Daima episode 7. I hope you cry, and I'm gonna hold you to it that you're gonna finish your animes. Because Alia, you better finish High School of the Dead. You better finish. Those are some great animes. If I hear by next week you not having caught up, I'm gonna be so upset. Chat, I'm gonna hold him to this.
Which is what it is. Stay tuned for episode 5 where we continue exploring the best anime this season has to offer. Plus, maybe a few surprises along the way. Thanks for listening to Off Da Binge. We see you on the next one.
Dale.